Well, I mean, I just love the whole kind of serial killer whodunit premise. I mean, I'm assuming you must be a big fan of that. And is that part of the appeal in getting involved in a show like this?
Yeah, I mean, I love the story, obviously. I love that, too. There's this show called Criminal Minds in America that's about, like, the FBI behavioral analysis unit who finds serial killers in modern day. And I've always been a real fan of that. And when I read this, I was like, this is like 1800s Criminal Minds, you know? Like, I do love that. I think that, and what I've realized as it's aired in America, people love a mystery and love trying to figure out who the killer is and like what's going on and all of that. I think it's a really sort of universal thing that people like to watch, and I know I do. So yeah.
Because when you're sort of approached to be in this and you hear sort of Netflix original series, it gives the whole project so much more clout because they don't tend to put out bad stuff. But at the same time, do actors actually think about it on those terms? I mean, when you get, if someone says it's a Netflix program, do you think, oh great, it's Netflix, or do you just focus on the character and the story and who you'd be working with in that instance?
I think it's a little bit of all of that, you know? I think it's definitely mostly about the story and the character and the people involved, and then, you know, and it's gonna also be on Netflix. It's like, wow, that's great, because I feel like the other things that I watch that are on Netflix are so cool and unique, and they are not afraid to kind of take risks and tell all different kinds of stories. And so that's obviously nice to know that the series is going to have a great home, and also that it's going to be available to so many people to watch. That's what I was really excited by about doing something for television, because I feel sometimes you make a film and it comes out in New York City and Los Angeles and in one theater in each place, and it can kind of get lost. And I think right now we're in such an exciting period for TV, and that's where people are going. And with streaming services and all of that, it makes it really easy to find shows, you know, and I was excited by a lot of people being able to watch it.
Yeah, because I watch a lot of movies and say to my friends, oh, you've got to see this film, and then they never go and see it. But
right,
if I say you've got to see this program, they might give it a go.
Totally.
Yeah. And I was wondering, I mean, one of the great joys as well in TV acting must be the kind of character building. You have this long period of time with so many episodes to really get into the kind of under the skin of the character you're portraying.
Totally, yeah. I was really excited by that. And we, the first 3 episodes are directed by the same director, Jakob Verbruggen, and I really only had those 3 scripts for a while, and so I think my mind got kind of tricked into thinking that was going to be it, you know, like that's what we were working on, and I kind of was thinking of it like this is like a movie. I had the 3 scripts in my one binder, and then I got episode 4 and 5, and I met James Hawes, who directed 4 and 5, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, of course it goes on. And there was always a little kind of rush of nervousness and excitement when I would get a new script and read what else was in store for Sarah, and what also I was going to have to do as an actor. Usually going into a film, you know everything that's kind of going to be required of you on paper, and in this case I didn't, and so it kind of kept me on my toes. And you know, eventually you're filming different episodes on the same day. You're filming episode 8 and episode 6, and so keeping track of all of that and different directors' energies, it was kind of a learning experience and challenging, but also very exciting for me. I loved getting to kind of have to keep track of everything and get to be so excited at the place that Sarah ends up in episode 10, and having taken her through all the episodes. It was great, and I'm just so thrilled that this story in particular was given that opportunity to be told in that way.
Because, I mean, Sarah is a great role. I mean, and also she's a sort of woman striving to make a success of herself in what is a man's world at that time. And I mean, as an actress who's been in this industry since you were a child, have you ever felt similar struggles in Hollywood? You know, to feeling like as a young woman rising up through this industry.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in general, and this, you know, this is not totally specific to being a woman, but I do think that as an actor, people a lot of the time have a preconceived notion of what you can do and who you are, and that can get frustrating, of kind of people wanting to keep you in some sort of little box that they've created, and you're like, I can do that and in that box, and like you're not, you know. So I've experienced that, of people kind of trying to set limits for me, and so I'm constantly trying to break those down and do things that show different sides of myself as an actor. And I think with Sarah, it's so intense, the boundaries that are set for women in general in society. Whether you're Sarah's someone who was born into a privileged life, and even a woman who comes from high society is limited in what she can do. And right away, when we're introduced to Sarah, we see the abuses that she comes up against in that man's world of the police department, and we also see how she reacts to them, and we see her strength right away. And so yeah, it was so exciting to get to have those moments with her.
And just finally, I mean, you're in Kirsten Dunst's directorial debut, The Bell Jar,
right.
Of course. Have you considered working behind the lens yourself? Have you got a short? Have you done your first short?
I did, yeah.
Have you got sort of ambitions to direct as well in the future?
I do, yeah. I made that short film in November, and it came out like a month ago, and it was so... Talk about challenging and exciting and new, and something I've wanted to do for so long, and I definitely want to do more of that. Yeah, I want to keep learning. I have so much to learn, and maybe make another short or direct an episode of a series or something like that, you know, and eventually I want to make a film, so a feature film. So yeah, I'm really, that's been the newest thing in my life.
Thanks so much for your time today.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Cheers. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey